Here we have from T2 Cellars, the 2017 Cabernet Sauvignon. This is the DBR Clone 8. DBR stands for Diamondback Ridge, which is the vineyard, and Clone 8 is a clone of Cabernet Sauvignon. Clones are kind of like a subvarietal. So if we have Cabernet Sauvignon or Pinot Noir or Chardonnay, there are other selections that are still Chardonnay, still Cabernet, or still Pinot Noir, but have been selected for different characteristics over time. It's actually pretty rare to find a bottling that's all one clone. Most vineyards, including DBR, Diamondback Ridge, will have a variety of clones planted in their vineyard because some of them will be fruitier, some of them will be spicier, some of them will grow slightly differently. When you see single clone bottlings, which have come to be more of a thing in the past, I'd say 8 to 10 years, they tend to be much more smaller release wines. Oftentimes, when a winery produces a single clone release, it'll just be offered through the winery's direct wine club. So we're really excited to be able to offer this to you here.
Yeah, and taste this. There is a lot going on here. I mean, there's just a hint of pyrazines, which is that green pepper note. And a lot of black fruit, spices, a little vanilla, probably from the barrel.
The pyrazines you mentioned, that class of chemicals that include green bell pepper, also include a lot of really interesting spicy aromas too. And as much as the fruit characteristic in this wine is really lovely, I really love a Cabernet Sauvignon that has a pretty decent spice profile, and this one really delivers it. This is also not a monster wine. It's certainly not a light wine, but some wines, especially from warmer regions such as Eastern Washington and parts of California, tend to be just these incredibly inky things that just fill up your glass and fill up your mouth. And while this wine has power, it still has a lot of finesse too.
Yeah, it's not heavy, but there's some really good structure to this. Like, I could lay this down a little longer if I wanted to, but you just decant it. You have it with some meat, it's gonna be great. So T2 Cellar is another micro winery in this allocation, and much like the great Seattle grunge bands of the early 90s who started in a garage, I know because I was there, T2 started in their garage. But now they're a Seattle urban winery just blocks away from where the Seattle Seahawks and the Mariners play. And Todd Threlkeld is an impressive winemaker. And this bottle is a story of high value for what you're tasting. And more than any other wine we offer, when people try Todd's wines, they just keep coming back. I believe we have the last of this vintage, so we're really lucky we've gotten our hands on this one. This one's yummy. I think you're going to like it with the recipe that we've chosen.
Really wonderful too. This is also, while almost completely Cabernet Sauvignon, there's a little bit of Petit Verdot and a little bit of Malbec in this too, both two traditional pairing partners with Cabernet Sauvignon. Petit Verdot helps add a little acid and brightness to the kind of darkness of Cabernet Sauvignon. And the Malbec can kind of provide a little bit more perfumey aromatic lift to complement the spiciness that Cabernet Sauvignon brings. And I think Todd has done a really wonderful job with blending with this wine to produce something that's very elegant, very nuanced, and really just lingers on the palate.
Absolutely. I love this wine. Cheers.
Cheers.